Welcome to Fun Fact Monday. Did you know that 1 out of 3 Biden supporters is just as stupid as the other 2? That's the fun fact for Monday. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go for a walk. And we'll talk stupid. Alright, we're not going to talk stupid, but we are going to talk about this cornfield here. My camera's doing this little weird thing. This is the first field I planted with the 7200 24-row corn planter this year. And I've walked through it a little bit. You probably haven't seen the footage of that because I haven't been posting much lately. But the other day I walked through here and I was very disappointed. Like, oh my God, this stuff is yellow. Why is this corn so yellow? Is it a herbicide burn? Oh, twin rows. What is it? What is causing this? Why is it so incredibly yellow? Down to a neighboring farmer who gave me some hay in exchange for me baling the hay that he's got there. And his corn was yellow as well. I was like, well, that's not good. I said, but you're in luck. I've got 550 acres of that shit. It looks just the same. Yellow, got some purple in the leaves as well. Looks so you're looking at a nitrogen and a phosphate deficiency. But the reality is it's neither. It's neither, because this farm is the home farm, and this farm has had some incredibly large amounts of organic fertilizer dumped onto it, and that will not cause it to go yellow, but cold weather will. Yes, cold weather. So it's June. How could it be cold? Well, we're going to talk about that. These are double planted. I can't show you that. I had shut off one side of the planter. Like I said, this was the first one that I had planted. But I'm going to get on my hands and knees here. The field is cleaned up pretty good. I sprayed this the other day. My herbicide program. Actually, I should show you the footage of the other day, because the other day I was, beyond disappointed. There was just a lot of things that were going on here that I was not happy about. I don't like being not happy about my crops, because you know what? This is our livelihood. This is exactly the thing that's going to pay the bills at the end of the year. And if you don't watch Cole the Corn Star, he's actually doing some really incredible video work right now. He is doing What It Takes to Farm series, and I'm enjoying it immensely. He just posted a new one where he's flooded out. Well, he's had some heat, I think, but whatever. He's in the hole $900 and some odd thousand to plant 2,000 acres of grain and fertilize it, spray it, all that stuff. $900,000 for 2,000 acres. I'm a little bit better off than him, I guess, because I'm only in it for $700 and some thousand, and yeah. But anyways, now we're gonna look at this. Yeah, 780. I'd have to look at it. A lot of freaking money, a lot of money. We don't like spending that kind of money, but if you're gonna farm, you're gonna spend a lot of money. And then you've got all the crazy things like weather and herbicide and things that you can't control, like insects and things like that, without spending more money and more money and more money. But anyways, I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to show you. This has had an incredible amount of NP and K put on it. It has the residue from last year's wheat and soybeans. And here in this leaf, you can see it. It is showing phosphate deficiency in these leaves. You see that purple leaves? So I know 190% fact that this corn has no deficiencies. It has no deficiencies. pH on this is closing in on 7. It was 6.8 last fall when we tested it. I added another ton of lime to the acre. So I know that it's not lacking in calcium and that pH. So another ton to the acre. Whatever. Looks good. But this is what I'm looking at. Look at this. Yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Is this a herbicide injury? I don't think so. This looks like nitrogen, right? Doesn't it look like nitrogen? There's actually still water down in the center of that plant. It was kind of cool to see come out. Got some more there. Good. Yeah, looks like a nitrogen deficiency and a phosphate deficiency, even though I know for a fact it's not. Here's the deal. Last week, I wore a sweatshirt for the majority of the day for 3 days in a row. I also am getting cooled off right now. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it did not get over 80 degrees today. When you have these cool night, oh well, it was 54 degrees this morning, and last week one of the days was actually 48 degrees. So what the heck? Global warming? No. Of course, there's going to be some knucklehead that says, oh, that's part of it. It gets cold in one spot and hot in another. Well, I can remember many a day over 100 degrees here back years ago. It is now currently 75 degrees. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to flip it around. It's currently 75 degrees, right? 75 degrees. It was 80 degrees. That was the high today. Feels like 75. And the low tonight, if you can zoom in on that, is actually 54 degrees. So, it was nice that it hit 80 degrees today, right? Because it hasn't been doing that. I don't think it did hit 80 degrees today. But what happens with corn, if you're not familiar with this, if you're a farmer, you will know. Corn, in order to get the nutrient out of the ground, it has to evaporate moisture from the leaves, okay? So, in order to get that moisture to come up out of those leaves, it has to be warm, right? So here we've got, I don't know what the hell happened here. We got some whipping there. I think this is, well, anyways, I don't know what that is. So it hasn't gotten hot enough. See those trees? Look at that. See where the sun is? Right there. See where this is yellow? Wow. But if I go out there, it's not yellow. The farther I go to the north of this field, the more yellow it becomes. In the morning, the sun comes up and it hits this side of the field pretty good. But I will say, 3 days ago when I was out here, I was like really ready to cry because the corn had clarity damage on it. And if you don't know what clarity is a herbicide. It's a broadleaf herbicide. This is junk that should have got cleaned up years ago. Clarity is a broadleaf herbicide, kind of like 2,4-D, but it takes out the tough weeds like mare's tail, which is what that is or was. And it's supposed to be safe for corn. It can do a little bit of damage to your corn. This field here is all treated the same. But you can see that yellow spots there. It is just not getting the heat that it needs to pull the moisture through the ground, from the ground, up into the leaves. All right, you're gonna love this. I am about to pull into a field of corn. I gotta pull a tissue sample. They're sending them out. Hopefully I get the results back by Wednesday. It's supposed to get hotter than Hades this week. So she says, well, if it doesn't burn all up in the next week, I said, no, my corn's not going to burn up in the next week. But I will say this, my corn overnight, literally overnight, turned yellow. So when it turns yellow, that's not a good thing at all. So I'm going to show you that corn. They're thinking it's a zinc deficiency. It's been really cold at night, and now we're going to get all this heat, and I'm hoping that it pulls nutrient up through the plant. There's plenty of moisture there. And it's got a darn good root system to it. But we'll figure it out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've got. This is my complaint on this farm. If you look at it, look how yellow these leaves are. I was at the, like I said, I was at the fertilizer plant, and they're telling me that this is really possibly sulfur or a zinc deficiency. It has been extraordinarily cold up here. It's not wet, but if you take a look here, there's plenty of moisture. You can see the difference there. So I ran over this with the vertical tillage machine after we put nitrogen on. There is 175 units of nitrogen on this. It is not nitrogen deficient. It doesn't show nitrogen deficiencies. It shows what they're saying is either sulfur or zinc deficiency. So whatever it is, it is. I'm going to go up to the next farm, which in my opinion is way worse. Now I've got some nice, Dad took some photographs of some corn a little bit ago, and he said, this looks really good. And it did. Getting that determined that the purple in the plant is not phosphate deficiency, because it's going up the vein, and it's going up through the vein of the plant, the leaf, and it is not. Get that seat, because we're going back out on the road. It's in the vein of the plant. It's not through the leaves like it would normally be on the outer edges for a phosphate deficiency, but it's not a phosphate deficiency. So she says, you're really kind of in the ugly duckling phase of this corn. And I'm like, well, I don't know what it is, ugly duckling or what. I says, but it's really starting to piss me off, because I know there's enough phosphate in this ground, and it's not showing a phosphate. I know there's enough potassium in this ground because I put it there. I know there's enough zinc because I put that there last year, and it doesn't, that doesn't go anywhere. I know that there's not a sulfur deficiency because I put on 40 units of sulfur in ammonium salt. Was it 40? Let me think here. Let me think. What was it? No? It was, yeah. It wasn't 40 units. About 150 pounds of ammonium sulfate. So you're looking at 24, just say 35 units of sulfur. Should we go up there and look at that up there?
I think so.
I think we should. Let's do that. So I know there's sulfur there. The sulfur is good. With that sulfur being good, I know it's got to be good. But so anyways, we're doing these tissue samples. I think this farm looks about like it did at home before we started getting some nice bright sunny days. We're not getting the sunshine like we should. And I'm going to flip this around, and you can see. I mean, if you don't see, I can see. And it's definitely not a nitrogen deficiency, because the nitrogen, there's 175 units of nitrogen on this. My cation exchange is not high enough, my CEC is not high enough to hold that nitrogen any higher than that. As a matter of fact, I'm probably 20 units above what I should have put on for the CEC level. Oh shoot, I got some thistle there that's gonna have to. This actually looks a lot better than it did the other day. I honestly and truly honestly think that it's just gonna be it just needs sunshine. I really do. As dumb as this sounds, it's gonna need sunshine. We've got it today. You know, this is actually growing pretty okay. I'm not happy with it. I mean, I think it should be taller. I think it should be doing better. But 48 degree nights, 45 degree nights, that's not a good thing. There's deer pressure on this. You can see they've snipped off some of the leaves, which is going to impact it negatively. Up on the hill there, you can see that they've hit it. Wow, they've hit this pretty hard, actually. We're going to pull down through here. This was all overgrown. This down in here. This was all overgrown until I came through with the skid steer. This is where the track came off the skid steer. And everybody says, boy, Mr. Pandy, you're getting fat. Oh yeah, that's that. The tree came down. I'm not going to complain about this yet. Boy, is there deer damage on there. They've been snipping those leaves off. We really do need this heat. We get this heat that's coming at us, and the sunshine, pure sunshine. I honestly think that it's going to bring this around, because it's going to be evaporating the moisture through those leaves, which is going to pull the nutrients that are in the soil up through there. At the worst, right? And this is my thought process here, as dumb as this may sound. I'm going to come through with triple 19. Triple 19. Good evening. It was 93 degrees today or so, and I decided that I was going to go check some corn. I didn't film when I went and checked, but I'm going to film what I've got here. This is a home farm. This is treated very differently than the other ground up there. This had organic fertilizer and lime. And what else did it have? Oh, it had spent mushroom soil. And that was that. This was a wheat stubble last year, then we put soybeans into it, and you're obviously not seeing anything. Soybeans into it, and then one time over with the vertical tillage machine at 2 inches deep, or 1.5 inches deep. And quite honestly, I'm gonna flip you around here. Quite honestly, I think that the VT actually did a little more than I wanted it to. Teresa likes to angle it, and I don't like it angled. So we've had 4 days of hot 90-degree weather. This is kind of barren other than the residue that's there. But I'm going to take my foot. No, I'm not even going to take my foot. I'm going to take my hand. Watch this. Look at that. Moisture. Right? Now, we haven't had a decent rain in a while. So I just basically scraped away what we loosened up with the vertical tillage machine, and we go right into moisture. This corn hasn't curled at all. Now, I'm having some issues with corn on about 400 acres that is yellow, and I'm not happy. I took tissue samples, obviously, sent them away, and I was waiting. I was supposed to get something back yesterday. Today I called, still in the lab. There were 3 samples from 3 different farms, equaling approximately 400 acres. Yeah, so, but this here looks great. This corn looks really wonderful. Plenty of moisture there because of the way we're doing this. The cover crop, obviously, I did a burn down on it, so it was dead before I planted. Before we actually VT'd it, it was dead. But yeah, no, this looks pretty good. I'm happy with this. I'm not happy with the other stuff. It is at V4 right now. I have to get on what I need to get on to correct that before V8, right? So V6 comes, you still got time. We're at V3, V4, right in there with that up there. It's spindly. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. I really, in all honesty, I have no clue. What does that thing say? Microphone what? Anyways, I'm not happy with it at all. So, anyways, hopefully tomorrow I get the results of my tissue samples, and I imagine they're going to tell me you're NPK deficient, and zinc and boron, even though there's plenty of nitrogen there, there's plenty of phosphate, there's plenty of potassium, but there's a reason why it's not grabbing it. I don't know what that reason is, but we are going to go ahead. I know it was cold, and the ground that we were in was cold. when we planted it, it's up in the mountain ground, so it's a little different ground up there. Everybody up there does not do no-till, or ultra minimum till as I call it, with the VT, vertical tillage. They don't do that up there. They are full tillage up there. And you know, I have one field that I went over like 4 times because I was breaking up grass, and that field is nice and green. It's not yellow. Now here, let me flip you around. This is the field below my parents' house. This field was wet when I planted it. Too wet, but it needed to get in. I really wanted to get it in. I did. And when you put in wet ground, this is a wet spot here. Obviously pinched off the slot and smeared it, and that's what you get. But up there, it's good. All the dry spots on this farm, there's probably, there's 24 rows of space up there that I just didn't even drop the planter in, but the remainder of the field is good. And then there's the upper field, which is good. And then I've got sweet corn right next to my parents' house, and there's probably acre and a half there of sweet corn, which, you know, if I know you and you ask for it, I'll give it to you. All others, you have to buy it, I guess, or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I only grew it because I like to grow something that is actual to table food. And Teresa's like, well, we're going to sell it. $1 an ear is what that shit's selling for right now. So anyways, so that's the crop report. I'm going to get back these results from the results from the fertilizer plant, from the test, and when I do, I will share that with everybody, and I'm going to share what I'm having to do to correct the problem, which, in my opinion, I think what I'm going to end up doing, I have to take their recommendation. I haven't got enough nitrogen on this corn. This corn has plenty of nitrogen on. We don't need to put another ounce of anything on this corn at all. It has organic fertilizer, which is great. You can see the color of it is beautiful. And yeah, so it's got a beautiful color to it, and it's growing like hell, and I'm happy with this. The other stuff is fucking piss yellow. But anyways, I'll share with what I'm getting into with it, and what it's going to take to get it back up and going. It hasn't rained in 2 weeks now, so it's starting to get a little scary, like last year and the year before. But I got plenty of moisture in there because of the cover that I did have on it, and I know that the remedy for the other stuff, the other corn, 400 acres over there, is going to be the equivalent of basically 150 pound of triple 19 with made with ammonium sulfate and boron and possibly zinc. We'll find out. They're going to give me the recommendation, and they're probably going to want me to put on like 600 pounds of something, which I'm not going to do. But I am going to have to put something on, and then the minute it rains, it'll be up and going. As long as I get rain before V8 stage, we'll be good. I'm more than likely going to use a foliar application on some of it, because I have to go and respray. Not respray, but touch-up spray, because the what do you call it? I got some shatter cane that's coming up. I don't have shatter cane down here, but there's shatter cane up there, and that shatter cane needs to be taken care of, so I got to go up with Roundup, glyphosate, whatever, and I'm probably going to spray the whole damn place with another shot of glyphosate and a foliar feed. I can do that, and that would make me pretty happy, because then it'll just be taken up and fix that corn. And then whatever they want me to put down, I'll put down in moderation. I'm not going gonzo stupid on it, because, you know, obviously this is the year you kind of got to be a conservative, and you can't just blanket feed everything. Even though if I blanket fed everything, I wouldn't be having this problem. But I'm not too late to fix the problem, It's just I'm a little worried about the the dry weather. So yeah, it's just a beautiful day on the farm. It's about 88 degrees now, still pretty warm. And there's the 955 cat sitting there that I need to get going. I really do need to get that going, and when I do get it going, it'll be good, because I'm going to use the shit out of it. Ugh, I'm almost going to roll the golf cart. Anyway, anybody interested in a 96 Ford Bronco? I think it's a 96, something like that. My nephew's been trying to sell it. It's got a 351 in it. It runs, it drives, it's okay. Anyway, have a nice night.